Hello.
All right, so we have a quorum. Why don't we call the meeting to order for the Finance Committee for Tuesday, February 9th, 2021? And let's get right started. John, you want to come up?
I'm gonna come up, actually. Gene's scanning something for his stuff.
Okay.
He asked me to go first.
All right.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I'm not sure exactly, I have nothing to change on my budget, as in Matt's 5-year projection from last year.
Okay.
We, like I said, besides his little increases that he gave us over the time, there's nothing changed.
Let him, hold on for a
Yep.
minute. Has everybody that's meeting via Zoom got a packet for? No? Okay, so,
I got mine sent via Gene a couple minutes ago, so I'm just looking at it.
and that may be, she just stepped out of the room, so she may be sending it.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, so there's no increases in my budget in that
This
aspect.
is the repairs or maintenance, sorry to interrupt.
So, no problem. This is, yeah, so this is building maintenance.
Adam, can you introduce yourself?
Oh, sure. Adam Furno, I'm the maintenance manager, also the highway foreman, fire captain, a whole bunch of different positions here at the town. So yeah, I'm just discussing the budget. I have last year's budget in front of me, and I have nothing to change at this point. Everything else is still the same. It's still the same bottom line anyway that I've gone through. I haven't asked for any additional requests. The packet that Gene did send out to you was just my maintenance project repair list. You know, I gave you a copy of my capital requests
Right.
on the top, and then all the things that need to be done around that I keep, as I go through, I make another, put it on the list, I do something, I take it off. It just keeps a running list for me. You know, I knock down all the fires basically, and we go forward like that.
Literally.
Literally sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
My repair list, the completed projects for repairs and maintenance, I always give you guys a little list of what we've been doing. The biggest project, that COVID kind of threw a wrench in everything, as everyone knows. So the biggest thing we did this year was the Municipal Center Weatherization Project through Green Communities. They came through, they sealed up a lot of areas, they noticed we had drafts and different things, so it made us more efficient. They took the old louver vents off the roof for us, which actually worked out great, because that would have been something I wanted to do when we did the roof over. So they sealed that up. So in the end, it didn't cost us really anything except for the Green Communities grant. And so the biggest thing I really want to talk about, which I'm not sure many know or don't know about, we had a heating oil spill here.
Yeah, we heard about
All right,
that.
okay, you did? So I wasn't sure. So it was back on Friday, 1/22, 6 o'clock in the morning. I received a phone call from Ricky Colinero, who was here he's the custodian. He smelled oil. We came down, it was coming out from underneath the door in the stairwell,
And that was where again?
down in the basement here, the town hall.
Okay.
So it was coming out from under the door. I trudged through it. It was only about an inch and a half deep. The pump was still running to the day tank from our big tank that we have in the front lawn. It was running and overflowing. We shut it off. I've had cleanup crews here. I'm sure you've seen the trucks. NEDT to environmental companies. They've done some boring into this concrete. Unfortunately, they found oil below the concrete because we have all these old pipes from the old system still under the concrete, so it followed the pipes down. They have to jackhammer up some of the floor. We've had the insurance companies been great. They've been involved the whole time. They came out today again, and we did a little bit of an investigation, trying to see if they could reenact it. They can't do it. My boiler company couldn't do it either. We don't know why it happened that way. Well, I'll wait for the official report, but they played around with the floats and they tried to figure out what was going on, and they can't make it happen either. But their official report will be out, I'm sure, to Matt at some point. And we're going to have to, the only thing the reason I brought it up was we're going to have to design a system better than what we had. We can't have that happen ever. We need to make sure it's added the alarms. This system wasn't part of the original boiler project, so we need to make sure it has alarms on it, so that way I get notified if, you know, an overflow, it's in a containment tank, The tank we had downstairs was from 2013, and it was a double wall tank because the insurance company made us take out the old tank and put in a double wall for safety, which was great, but some reason the oil did not return to the big tank, and they're trying to understand why. So that's where I'm at right at the moment. I don't know what the cost is going to be. We are going to solicit an engineer to come in and design the system, and make sure it's correct and design it, and make sure we have alarms on it and everything that we have to do to comply with the insurance company's requirements, and to make sure it never happens again. And then we'll have to come back and see who's going to pay what. I don't know. That's insurance, and Matt's dealing with all that. So I'm not exactly sure where the funds are going to come from that. So you may see me back here again asking for money just for that part, because then, of course, it's not in my budget for any of this stuff, so.
Can you heat the building?
Yep, everything still runs. Basically, every day I have to go in and manually fill the day tank. So I turn the switch on, I wait an hour or two, make sure I only go to 7/8, let it fill to 7/8, shut it back off, and that way I can make sure it's under control, and, everything's, even and no problems. And the boiler has been running since that day. They cleaned up the oil. They only picked up about 300 gallons off the floor, which, knock on wood, we have a sump pump down in the basement. If it would have been another 1.5 inches taller, it would have been in the sump pump and out in the street. So it could have been an environmental nightmare. And although it's not a great scenario, it's best case scenario for us. So, but at this point, like I said, I don't have a lot more information than that. And like I said, Matt will be in touch with the insurance company, I'm sure, at some point, to go back and forth on who's paying for what, and I don't know that.
Hey, Jean, can we start to get, for the departments for these meetings this fiscal year, snapshots of their budget from last year versus their budget request line items for this year?
I can definitely get you the current year's budget. The budget for '22 will be coming from that.
Okay, so I guess then the question is, we don't know, Adam, when you say you don't have anything new year over year, right?
Yeah, so basically, I have this from last year. It's a 5-year projected budget from Matt.
Yeah.
And this is his number, his bottom line. I have nothing I've had to change, or nothing I'm requesting more than what he's presented last year. There is slight increases in heating oil and little increases that he's built right into this, but I have nothing, I'm not asking for any additional funds for anything.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm just trying to look here to see if my board.
Can I run you a quick expenditure report for each department?
Yeah, I guess what's useful, and again, I don't know if I'm the only one or some of us don't necessarily come into the meetings with what Adam's coming in with, Matt's 5-year budget, but there's, something that gives us the ability to see year over year, either if Adam's going to talk about nothing new than what was on the projection.
Yeah.
Right? So we've at least got it in front of us. I don't have in front of me anything to give me scale of what last year's budget was with this.
Yeah, and I can give you
He's
this.
got
You want
it.
this?
He's literally
Yeah.
got it.
I could, so I'll give this to you,
Yeah.
a copy. 162,583 was this year's budget, and next year's budget's 166,042.
Yeah.
You want to take that?
Did you go through your list yet?
I didn't go through it, we just discussed it. I didn't go through it, we just talked about what I had. But,
So Adam, other than the leak in the basement,
yes.
when you look at what you spent money on, were there any other surprises, or did it pretty much go
No, so far,
more or
everything.
less as expected?
So far, everything, yeah, repairs and maintenance, normal things. I mean, like I said, COVID kind of threw a wrench in a lot of this stuff. We had, window cleaning and stuff that's non-essential that I wanted to get done that didn't get done, that I like to try to get done year after year, some concrete repair, stuff like that, where we kind of touched on, but we didn't do a lot of. The town hall's been closed to the public, just the workers here. So, I mean, overall, everything that's going on right now looks to be like green communities. I'm hoping through capital we can put a roof on this building this year. It really desperately needs it. We've had leaks upstairs. Our municipal generator, the reason that's back on my capital list is we applied for a grant to go along with what I already received. I think we have 135,000 that I asked for, and then we applied for a grant for the 185. We didn't get the grant, unfortunately. Matt worked with the IT department. We needed to do some electrical upgrades inside the building in order to make this generator work. So we have the money to start with, to get an engineer to work with, but we didn't get the grant that was supposed to supplement our funds. So that's back on my capital as my number one, because unfortunately we didn't get it. Hopefully we do. The roof replacement, number two. A maintenance truck for myself that's going to do multi-use, as I work for several different departments, highway, fire, water, sewer, because I have water licenses. So a vehicle to do all the jobs that we do. And basically it's going to be a truck that will will work for several different departments, but it's one vehicle instead of us all buying one for every department. Since I can do all that, I can use one truck and do that. So, and I have the second floor heat and AC units on the roof, and my opinion was if we're going to tear the roof off, it'd be nice to replace those 4 units up there, since 2 of them don't work anyway, while we have it off. If it happens, it'd be great, while we're doing it. And then the demolition of 19 Main Street, which is that brown house up near the VFW building, the old VFW building. That house the town bought years ago. It's got asbestos shingles on it, siding, so we need to deal with that. But, I mean, that's...
Do we have a generator now?
The police department does. We don't have anything for up here.
Okay.
So,
What's on the second floor here?
so the second floor is just storage. So there was a discussion years ago that the second floor, we were told we couldn't use unless we sprinkled it, had sprinklers put up there, because it was a change of use.
From when it was a...
From when it was a school. So, and my thing was, 75 kids and 12 teachers were upstairs and didn't need a sprinkler system,
gonna
but
say,
6
you don't
adults
worry
do.
about- you don't worry about
To me, I would have been more worried about the children than I would have about the 6 adults, but it was a change of use, and I don't know the code, so I can't really comment on that, but things have changed a little bit. We have a new building inspector, and the last building inspector also, they both have a different opinion than the first building inspector, so we may be able to go forward. That being said, there's a lot of storage upstairs, a lot of files, a lot of things that need to be scanned and put in an archive, or I'm not exactly sure, and that probably would be Gene's department, what we can and can't keep. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be gone through up there in order to renovate and move upstairs.
Is there an elevator for upstairs?
There is, yeah, right near the gymnasium, down near the gymnasium. It was all handicap accessible. We have buttons, we have everything up there. It literally is move the files out and do some minor upgrades and you can use it. It's that close. Maybe some floors, finish the floors a little bit, but we're not far off. So, I mean, it's very usable space. It'd be nice. That's new electrical system. It's not like down here where I've got different decades of electrical system. Upstairs has all been done in 1995. So,
So as you look ahead to the next year for the budget, there's no bomb waiting to explode.
not at the moment. I mean, I present everything through capital. So if it's 50,000 or more, that's why I have a capital list. I'm sorry. 10,000 or more, it's for capital. 50,000 or more will go through building facilities. So I have them at all times, with me. Any project that I present, and if I get approved through capital, then I go to building facilities, and then that's the board that steers the way from there. I just tell them what we're looking for, and they make the decisions and then present it to the selectmen.
Any questions, anyone? Carol, anybody? No?
Nope.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adam.
Have a good day.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. John, can you do the same thing? Just introduce yourself.
Sure.
Yep.
Yep. My name's John Farno. I'm the highway superintendent and the deputy fire chief in the town. Pretty much like Adam, well, Gene did take my copy, make you guys copies, but
We don't have a copy of anything, do we, here?
No, that's okay.
my budget, I'm not asking, the only increase I'm asking is another $1,000 in my sign account. When we did the pavement study, they identified bunch of signs to upgrade, replace, so that'll give me about money for,
Okay.
to get start the process to get some of the signs. So the only real increase is $1,000 in that expense for signs.
John, what's in your department? What does your department cover for the town?
So we cover, and I actually wrote myself some notes, but we cover all the roads, maintenance of the roads, cutting brush, potholes, mowing all the commons, mowing all the ball fields,
Okay.
cleaning 800 catch basins a year,
Okay.
sweeping the streets some twice a year with the new stormwater regulations.
Okay.
I've been down a man for a year. We advertised. I had 2 guys apply, no one with any licenses.
How many full-time staff?
So I have, right now, 4.5, because Adam's only counted as a half because of all of his other jobs.
Yeah.
So we're trying to hire 1 more.
Thank you, Jim.
What do
So
you need for license?
CDL, B license, and a hoist license, Class 2B. So if anyone knows anyone, send them our way,
Together?
Wintertime, long hours, but,
Keep both.
we maintain over 82 miles of public roads in town.
Okay.
Thank you, Gene.
We clean 800 catch basins, as I said.
How we doing on trucks?
We're doing pretty good on trucks. We got a new truck this year, in July. Very exciting, 2021 Large International with the plow and the sander. It's out right now, actually. Our department, we assist the water sewer department. This past fall, we did 1,000 feet of new water line on Cemetery Street. If we put that job out to bid, Bob Sullivan and I figured out it'd be about $250,000. We did that all in-house. I know Bob bought all the supplies, I don't know, maybe $30,000 or $40,000 worth versus, but we're a small department and we had to dedicate 6 weeks of time, to get that done. But we were able to do that in-house. We assist the school department and the Board of Health with projects they have as well.
John, does your department work the trees? Are you guys the group?
I inherited the tree warden about 4 years ago.
Okay.
When Mr. Bazinski retired.
Okay.
I inherited that. So I get $20,000 a year in my regular budget. Last year, I went to the fall town meeting or December town meeting and asked for another 50.
Yeah.
We're just about through that now. I have enough, I have like about $10,000 left. With the gypsy moths that have did a job on our trees. For instance, Orange Street, I took down 81 large oak trees on Orange Street.
Yeah.
That took us 3 weeks down there.
Wow.
Overall, how's that project going?
Very well.
Okay.
National Grid's in town cutting a lot. I know everyone's sick of sitting in those traffic lines with Stanley Tree, Lewis Tree, but they've been a great help too.
Is that National Grid?
That's
Or-
National Grid. Anything you see with Stanley or Lewis Tree
Okay,
is
I didn't know
National
that.
Grid,
Okay.
that's been a big help to us. I've kept track of, in the last calendar year, 510 large oak trees that we've taken down with the assistance of the grid. That doesn't include what Stanley Tree has done. I've asked for that list, I haven't got it yet, but I know it's up in the thousands.
Okay.
And we've got a ways to go yet,
Who's paying Stanley?
National Grid.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
which it's got to be costing them a fortune.
Yeah, I see that
But I appreciate it, because
Okay.
otherwise I'd be asking you guys for all that money,
And why are they taking them down?
They're trying to protect their investment, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
If you notice the 3 lines, anywhere there's 3 lines, it's called 3-phase.
Yeah,
And they want to protect that, because that feeds every part of the town.
okay.
So, and I just got an email last week, they're coming in, they want to do more sections of town, which I think is great.
Okay.
I know some don't like as much as they're taking, but, we got to weigh that, do we want the electricity, or do we want it to look nice, So there's got to be a balance, but,
Sure.
they do go door to door and ask every resident, or let them know, and so they're very good about that, too,
Interesting. Okay. How are we doing on snow at the moment?
Snow, so We're event number 16 today.
Okay,
So before today's storm, we were at 224,850.
okay,
All right. So Matt did send a letter, I think everyone got it,
Yeah.
about the deficit spend, which
Yeah.
we'll need. It's been a crazy few weeks now.
yeah,
You know, we had that 14, 15 inches last week, then 10 or 11 on Sunday.
yeah.
And we're back, it's only 2 inches today, but we've been at it since 9 o'clock
Yeah,
this morning.
sure, yeah.
You know, where you have to treat the town 3 times to keep
Yeah,
the traffic
sure,
going.
yeah.
And the salt is what costs, you know? So,
Okay.
So looking ahead to the next year, do you see any big surprises for your budget?
I don't see any big surprises. You know, we've got the Cedar Street Bridge project that we're working on. That bid just was awarded to New England Bridge in the amount of right around $700,000.
Wow.
But $500,000 of that was through a grant that we were able to get through the state. So the remaining money will come out of my Chapter 90 paving money to get that project done.
Okay,
We did that bridge over in 2011. We did it in-house for about $30,000, and it was a 10-year fix at the time, so it's right on the timeline. But this will be fixed, and it'll be a 50-year plus, you know, done deal.
oh, is that right?
Oh, yes, yeah. We're going to widen the road, take some of the corner, make it a lot safer out there,
Okay.
you know, other than a one-lane bridge, what it really is right now, you know?
How long is that going to take?
They said it's a 3 to 4 month project. They hope to start around June 1st of this year.
It's not a big area.
It's not, no,
No.
no, it's not.
Will that close the bridge?
It will. That road will be closed, like it, last time when we closed 6 or 8 months. You know, they're hoping 3 to 4 months to have the project
And will I
completed.
go down there for 5 months before I remember?
Yes.
I would
yes,
I would imagine so.
Including us, don't worry.
Right, right, yeah. I have no doubt, right?
Yeah.
Have
Sure.
it, right?
Always.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep. Just a week before it's done, you think, oh,
Yeah,
I got this.
exactly.
I don't
Yeah,
have to go
that's
down.
it.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions for John?
John, tell me again what the position you have open requires, a
A
CDL
CDLB
B,
and a 2B hoisting license.
to be hoist.
Hoisting, yep.
What is that?
That's so you can operate a rubber-tired machine, a backhoe or a front-end loader,
Okay.
all right? I can talk a little bit about the pavement study if you guys want to hear about it.
Pavement study.
Yes.
Remember
I'm in.
about that?
Go for it.
All right, so last summer, last fall, we had a pavement study done at the town. Matt got us a $30,000 grant.
Okay,
So we had all the roads surveyed in town. They took inventory of the 83 miles of our roads. They used a pavement condition index, a PCI. It's calculated on a scale from 0 being the worst to 100 being the best.
okay,
For instance, Webster Street got 100 because that road's 3 years old, 4 years old,
Okay.
where Cemetery Street got a 0. So, you know,
Okay.
so, and this study is up on my website, on the town's website under Highway, the whole study. I know Carol has a copy of it. She,
Actually, I emailed it to you guys
Yeah.
last week.
oh, good.
Okay.
So the pavement study. So our townwide average on the pavement condition index, 100 being the best, was 54.3,
Average.
which is fair, they say, you know?
okay,
10 and a half miles of our roads were 88 to 100 in the PCI. The 17.6 miles of roads were 68 to 87, which they required crack sealing, which is an inexpensive fix.
yep,
20 miles of the roads were classified as 47 to 67, which would need to be sealed, shimmed, chip sealed, and crack sealed. And then 25.1 miles of roads were classified as 25 to 46, which means they're asking if you overlay them, you know, pave right over, or grind down the top 1.5 inches and repave it. And then 9.8 miles of our roads were 0 to 24, which means reclaim, which is like a big rototiller, grind them up,
yep,
and then drainage, and then pave them.
okay,
So to do this cost, if I came to you today and said, can I fix every road in town, I'd be asking for $16,213,000
To bring them all up to 100?
to bring them all up
Sure.
to 100.
I think we'd probably say no.
Okay.
No town can do
No.
that.
No,
right?
no,
It's gotta be- yeah.
but, you know, we wanted to know where we
Yeah,
were,
sure,
you know?
yeah,
So if we want to keep our PCI index at 54.3,
Yeah,
I need $1.26 million every year, just to stay where we are right now,
interesting, okay.
okay? They give you a progressive funding scenario for 5 years, where we could get everything up to 100, and that's $4.5 million a year for 5 years.
I doubt if any town is up,
No, they're not, but, you know.
not even
it's-
Newton or Wellesley.
It's good to know, you know, where we are, you know? So I get $366,000 a year Chapter 90 money.
Okay,
So, you know, it doesn't put a dent really in what we need to do.
Yeah.
So I know I've met with the selectmen and asked, and Matt, and, you know, and I'm sure they're going to talk to you folks and trying to come up with some kind of funding source to get more paving done so we can at least maintain what we already have, you know?
on last 10 years, are we falling behind then, year over year?
We have, because of all the bridge work we've had to do with my
Money
Chapter
that's gone
90
into the
money.
bridges
Correct.
instead of the paving,
Correct,
okay.
you know?
Somebody said in the last couple of meetings, I thought, that effectively with this Cedar Street Bridge completion this summer, our bridge work would be done theoretically.
The only wooden bridge left would be on Potter Road, which is only 3 houses beyond that go over that bridge, and we're still getting decent ratings when the state inspects it.
Okay,
So I don't see that needing to be replaced. But after this bridge, yeah, we should be in good shape for a while. You know, I mean, North Street Bridge, I'd love to see it another lane wider, but it's
Yeah.
Douglas, and that's the road we have, so, you know,
okay.
yep. And then,
How is Chapter 90 money? Is there a formula that the state uses? Does that go up or down much, or?
Answer that better. John?
there is a formula they use by population, by road miles.
Okay.
Anytime we accept a road, we get a little bit more money, like we just accepted Woodland Road. But I don't know the formula exactly, to be honest with you, without looking it up.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any questions on that, and I just want to, if I can talk about one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So our garage was built in 1931. I know everyone's been by it.
Yeah,
We're going to email out all these photos.
They should have.
Oh, okay. So we're looking, it's on my capital list to get replaced, you know. The garage was built in 31. You'll see when you get to the pictures, I can pass this around if you want. There is absolutely no room, you know, to move around. You can't work on vehicles without
Yeah.
pulling stuff out.
Yeah.
Inadequate ventilation, no wash bay to wash the trucks. We wash them outside, which you're not supposed to do. So, you know, we're asking for a replacement. I mean, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't. You know, we have equipment outside. We've got a grader that's worth $250,000, $150,000 backhoe sitting outside because there's just no room to put it inside. You know, like today, we moved stuff out so we could bring them in and do maintenance on them this morning before the snow started.
what's a ballpark cost for a building that would house all of that under its roof?
So Adam and I did some legwork in October, November with towns that built new garages.
Yeah.
It's anywhere from $3 or $4 million up to Hopkins Taj Mahal at $16 million.
What was Northbridge's?
Northbridge, I'm not sure, Dick. I didn't, I know they did one new building over there and then reused some of their old
I
buildings.
know when I talked to Charlton, their building was, I want to say it was 8 years old at this point. They were around 6.2 million and everything. They have everything inside and a lean-to outside for a couple things. You know, that's the newest one. Unfortunately, with COVID, our goal was to go walk them. Our goal is to see what you have, what they have, how
Yeah,
big is
sure,
it,
yeah.
you know, what it fits, and is it something we like, we don't need, you know, that stuff. And unfortunately, with COVID, everyone's kicked us out. So at this
Yeah.
point, you know, we're trying to get back there. We, you know, once it's all settled down, I think we'll be able to get some more. But we have done a lot of our homework in that aspect at the moment.
Gene, how are buildings like that financed by the town? Does that go out to
borrow for it.
Yeah, a bond.
It would, yeah, my opinion would be it would be a debt exclusion,
Yep,
and we would do at least a 20-year on it.
okay, all right, yeah. So,
John, is just to show that stuff is really crowded, is that?
Yeah,
Okay.
Correct.
See that?
and so a lot of the pictures you'll see that I took, it just shows that there's nowhere to walk. There's no, trucks have to almost touch mirrors for us to get in.
Yeah.
The newer trucks don't fit down in the front garage because the beams are so low that it can't fit. So if we get any newer trucks, then we have to put something outside, in this point. And we have to tuck the loader bucket underneath the back of another truck.
Sure.
So that way we can get that bay in. It's just, our kitchen that we use all winter long is it's a boiler room. It's not even a kitchen. Years ago, they made that into a kitchen,
So you got a Keurig and a remote, though.
That's it, yeah, exactly. We got a remote, yeah, we got,
Sorry.
yeah.
John, where does the request for a building sit on your capital improvement list?
I believe it's number 1 this year, yes.
Okay, and
Yep.
where has it been in the last few years?
It's been on since I've been highway super, since '05.
But where has it been on the town list in the last few years? Is it making any progress up?
Well, I know the selectmen were very interested in it when I met with them last, I think, September,
Okay,
that they seemed very interested in trying to do something. I know there was, oh, go ahead. I'm not sure, Carol, where we could put it on. I'm not, I don't know if it would fit where we are now.
wouldn't it fit?
Well, it would, I just don't know with the aquifer there, if we can get a permit to do
Sure,
it now.
yeah.
I know the water department purchased the mobile pipeline land, but, I'm not sure, I can't speak for them letting us have some land that, but,
And the same as we use the pit that's behind the soccer field, which if you, we use that right now, where we have our dirt, we keep stuff down there. And of course, the VFW building in the Brown House, if those get torn down, you could figure out a way to put something down there. Again,
Yeah.
it's all dependent on, location, where they want to put us. We're fine with, if the future says that the police station is going to build their own and they want to be on Main Street and they want us off, we're fine with that. It doesn't matter to us, we just, wherever we can fit in, that's what we're looking for.
I like your bathroom.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's our
That's
bathroom.
been around a while.
Yeah. There's no showering in there, let me tell you.
Oh, see,
But,
No, I'm good.
no.
All right.
Yeah, like I said, our trucks are almost rub the beams as they're coming in.
Yep.
We've actually, the sad part is some of the trucks that are 2001, we've had to cut the headboards down in order to get them in the front garage.
Yeah.
We're cutting a truck down in order to make it fit.
Crazy.
It's what it is. And then they have red poles holding up the beams just to keep them from sagging too much so we can get in and out. So, that's just what happens. It's been a good garage, but it's definitely time.
Yeah, it's even as you go by it, it's
Yeah.
a vision of the town from a bygone era.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What else, folks? Anyone else?
But I just want to commend the highway department. It's such a small crew and great job that they do for us. It's the one department that every one of us uses every day. I appreciate everything that they do for us.
Thank you very much.
Carol.
We appreciate that.
Carol, what's your address? You want your street plowed again, right?
Unfortunately, I'm kind of out there. I don't get it back.
No.
Yeah. All right. All set then.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
guys.
Have a good night.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Get some sleep before the
Try.
next
I know.
couple days.
Yes, thank you.
See ya.
Have a good night. Thank you. Be safe out there.
Good night, guys. Fiscal 2022 budget discussion. Dean, that's you.
I will be okay passing over that until the next meeting if you'd like.
Yep, no Matt tonight?
I just found out they have a selectmen's meeting in the next meeting room. I can tell you that we're starting to get some of the numbers in, some of the bigger numbers.
Okay,
Worcester Regional.
I'm sorry, guys, I can't hear anything.
I can't hear either.
Yeah. So I asked, we've got on the itinerary,
You're very clearly understandable. It's Gene that we can't hear.
Gene's never clearly understandable.
You want to come and sit by a mic, Gene, maybe?
Sure.
not if you're not comfortable. If that's up to you.
As long as they can.
We're kind of distancing here,
Yep.
so.
Yeah. I was just saying that we are starting to get the numbers coming in now for the bigger numbers. We look for Worcester Regional now, BVT, Norfolk Aggie, health insurance. Those things are starting to come in. Health insurance we'll probably have in March. Worcester Regional I'll have for the next meeting, so we'll have that number. I sent out the Finance Committee schedule. Dr. Fitzpatrick is actually in the next meeting
Okay,
by himself.
Later, 2 weeks from today?
Yeah, the
Right.
23rd.
right.
I did talk with the superintendent of Douglas Public Schools and told him that he would be here and asked if he wanted to attend as well, because I think it has a direct impact on our school. So he may be joining you for that meeting. And then I'm going to be keeping some of these items on the agenda.
Can we have Dr. Fitzpatrick present first, though, if they're both going to be here?
Only Dr. Fitzpatrick's presenting. I asked.
Oh, I see. You're not going to have school committee present that night?
No,
Okay.
I just
All right.
asked him if they wanted to be here
Okay.
to let him know.
Okay.
We will probably have a reserve fund transfer for the next meeting.
Okay.
Not for snow and ice, because we'll deficit spend that account.
Yeah.
But the town engineer did give us this notice, so he'll be leaving. So we have to look at funding.
Is that Bill?
That is Bill.
Okay.
So his last day is Friday,
Oh, really?
How long's he been
Sorry.
here?
20 years.
Wow. I was on the planning board when we hired him.
Oh,
Okay.
Big loss to the town.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service to us, Bill.
Good shout out for Bill.
Right, well, he's done a great job.
Yeah.
He has,
Sure.
he has. It'll be a big
He'll
loss.
be missed, yeah.
Oh, that's-
Yeah. So there's some moving pieces. So,
Okay.
you know, we're starting to work on the special town meeting. Suzanne's retiring in July,
Suzanne, okay.
so, you know, we're looking
Yeah.
for we're losing some big, long-term employees this year,
Okay.
so.
Gene, when do you know what you get from the state?
We do have our cherry sheet numbers.
Okay.
I say that. We have our governor's cherry sheet
Yeah.
numbers, so I can have that for you next meeting as well.
Okay.
Is the legislatures different than the governors sometimes?
Yes, yeah, but we don't usually get any new numbers until, you know, this is the number we usually use for the prelim,
Okay.
Great.
I'm gonna miss,
and then we'll have,
Okay.
I'm gonna be.
you know, numbers
Okay.
May and
Maybe I'll
June.
call in on Zoom.
Got it, yeah.
Be all set. I wouldn't do that. Okay. Shout out to Suzanne as well, then.
Well, we don't want to push Suzanne out the door. I told her she can't tell me how
95
many more days. Yeah,
95 days, right? Yep.
yeah. So and the principal assessor is retiring next December. So the town is.
Who's retiring?
The principal assessor.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, we're losing some valued employees.
Don't you think about going in?
No comment,
You're not going to Tampa Bay, are you, Gene?
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Meeting minutes. Do we have any meeting
We
minutes?
do not. We are still looking to fill that vacancy, if anybody's looking for that.
Crazy,
I know.
right?
What do you need for
Okay.
that?
You just need, actually, that is a great gig if you're a stay-at-home person. You get to cover all the meetings, so that's planning board, zoning board, board of health, FinCom, board of selectmen, a whole bunch of them, building facilities, and take the minutes, and you don't have to attend. You
You just
can
watch the tape, right?
just watch them, and,
Yep,
Oh, okay.
right?
yeah, you do have to watch all the meetings.
That may be the hardest part of the job. Yeah. Okay,
Although Ryan used to listen to us on the way to Boston,
yeah,
so.
see, right,
yeah.
yeah,
Do you have to live in the town?
No,
Okay.
yeah.
no, actually, the last two did not reside in the town.
Okay. Open session for topics not anticipated 48 hours in advance.
I think the only thing I would have, and you received notice, is to inform you about the snow and ice.
Right.
That one, we just got the notice yesterday, and we expected it.
Yeah, I think we've all
Yeah.
had that notice.
Yeah.
As we drive around.
Yeah,
sure.
and today's event is more costly than if we're plowing.
And he made the point, right, that even though it's a minor snow, it's been a little bit all day.
2
and they're out
inches
there,
and
they're out there, and
yeah.
they're out there. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's on the agenda for our next meeting then?
Dr. Fitzpatrick.
Just him by
Just
himself?
him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did send the schedule out.
Yes, I'll
Yeah.
flip it tomorrow again if we need to. Yeah.
So the only thing I'll be adding, you'll see many of these agenda items through the chair on each meeting, but I will be adding reserve fund from now on,
Right.
in case anything should come up.
When did you send that, Jean?
I think I sent it maybe last week.
Friday, maybe?
I do like to send you Happy Friday notes.
And then the meeting in 2 weeks will be in person if we can, for those that can.
Yeah, Dr. Fitzpatrick will be here in person.
Right.
And I'll have his pretty color
That's okay. That's all right.
things to hand out.
All
so
right. Get it?
It's hard to.
I'll resend it and include Dr.
It's hard to
Fitzpatrick.
go Xerox that and send it off in a PDF to people.
We'll request his in advance.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you can get for us from
Yeah.
him in advance would be great.
So Jean,
And I always,
at this stage in the budget process, as you look ahead the next months, do you see any big issues or hurdles upcoming, or does it seem to be pretty routine so far?
FY '21's
Yeah.
this current year.
Yeah.
Suzanne, I know I'm putting that on the special town meeting because we want some overlap for that position.
Okay.
Remember, most of these offices are one-person staff, and Suzanne's been in there for, I've been here 15 years, she's been here longer. You can't replace that historical knowledge.
right,
So she's out the door July 2nd, and, we want to have some overlap. Now, that's, always need the support of the Finance Committee should town meeting choose not to
right.
transfer that, but I think it's pretty important that we get someone to at least sit near her
A
for,
month or two. Yeah.
yeah. So we'll be looking for that. Again, I'm not sure what they'll be doing in community development, so I'm going to be putting that as a placeholder. Again, that's a very valuable position. I don't know where they'll be going with that, so I'm going to be putting something on there as a tickler item to say, hey, either we need to look at the expense line, because remember, we're voted salary and expense, so if we're looking at outside, then we need to transfer. And I don't have that answer for you, so I don't think it's known yet.
At the moment, are we lined up for our typical May annual town meeting?
That's what I'm planning for.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll have a special first, and then we'll have the annual after.
Okay. Back for a minute to Feb 23rd. Should I ask Matt, or can I ask it through you? I always like to get for the doctor, for PVT's meeting, their 5-year college placements beforehand.
If you send me an email of what you would
I will.
like requested, then I will
And what-
forward that.
To be honest, I also like to have it from the Douglas school system as well for the same meeting.
Okay, if you send me the email, I will forward that request.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And if there's any other information the board would want.
Anything else that anyone wants to see specifically for BVT prior to the meeting with BVT in 2 weeks?
So we're just gonna see the numbers that they're requesting, or are they gonna just request the numbers when they see it?
Usually they come with their budget request. I think Matt suggested that they had something like a March 16th meeting.
Yeah, they had their public hearing. I think I informed the committee March 16th.
Or will have it,
Yeah, they have not had their public hearing before they meet with you, which is
Right.
interesting.
right? But Phil, typically they come with their projected budget, the numbers, the ask. They invariably give us their numbers of anticipated students, or frankly, current students, right? And the costs in the year over year.
Yeah, so it's kind of a little bit tough to compare prior year if they pop it on you when you meet, right?
Well, I think since I've been here almost every year, that request has been a 4 to 5, maybe down as low as 3.5, but a 3.5 to 5 and 5.5% year-over-year increase, where the town has invariably been 0 to 1.5, maybe 2 at the ask. So that's one of the things that always is right out there.
Oh, I get it.
Yep, yep.
Are they in classes, are they remote, or how is the LTAC going anyway this year? Do you know?
A guy will be here in a couple of weeks, you could ask.
Heather,
I don't know, Carol.
You're-
As well as in person.
Are they?
It just depends on what grade you are, but they are doing both.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I imagine the trades to the center, hard to be online.
I would think, right? Yeah, right.
So if anybody has any information they would like him to bring, if you can send it to me, you can't discuss, because of the open meeting law between each other.
Right.
But if you can have it to me by Thursday, I can send out the request on Friday.
Okay. Any,
So one quick question related to the snow overage letter from Matt. It looks like we were up to 274,950, which is about exactly the same as we were last year prior. Even though we had a good budget last year, we had 199. Where does that 75,000 come from?
That, I already put a placeholder on the special town meeting. Typically, we take that from free cash. So we
In the free cash number right now is what?
in my office.
You know she's not going to make it up.
yeah,
It's got to be
Yeah.
fact. Don't make her go get it.
I'm sorry, did I ask a funny question?
no, it's a fair question, but Phil, each year, that's where
Yeah.
it kind of has had to come from. And so that's our biggest variable, frankly,
It is.
in the uncontrolled item in the budget each year. It's really incredible.
Yeah, no, I agree, act to God, what can you do,
Yeah,
But I was just, so that comes from free cash, which is actually a real free cash, right?
well, it's your savings account.
Yeah. It's,
I get it.
And so whatever,
Over the budget, but we have to spend it.
whatever the number was, it's about to be $75,000 less. And then some.
yeah.
And then some, because even that's before today.
So it's always, that's where my recommendation is, to take it from free cash.
Yeah.
And if you look historically, that's where we have for quite some time.
But Phil, to your point, over the course of the year, when others come in looking to go get money out of free cash, and we seem to have gobs of it, the answer is, well, wait until the snow falls, and then we might not have as many gobs.
Yeah, because it's weird, because the budget for the year prior was 275 or something, and now our budget with the addition is 274 something, so it's kind of like the same. Or maybe we should just budget that so we don't have to take out free cash.
But it would still have to come from,
Money, yes.
It did. Snow and ice is an interesting line item, because that's the only account that we can legally deficit spend. But you also have to, you can do that as long as you budget at the same level and not less than the prior year. So you're somewhat conservative in case you have a year you
Right,
have no
right,
snow.
right.
So it's a funny animal. So we anticipate that we're going to be looking at this special town meeting. We have been increasing that budget, though, especially since the override. We have been putting more money in that account each year for at least, to offset the COLAs and the cost of the materials. But that account is the only account that you can deficit spend legally.
But Phil, you're right, on a very macro view of it
Yes.
all, you've got to look and say, oh, it's 199, if we have a nice quiet year, that's all we'll need, but if not, most years we go over that. And to Gene's point
No, I
of
was
why we
just- I was
use the
kind of
lower number.
alluding to, like, is there some kind of like little formula that you can use every year and just You have a static formula?
She just told you that.
Yeah.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Oh, there is one.
Yes.
Okay. Did I miss that? What is that formula?
Jean just told you.
It's okay.
Okay. Could you give it to me again?
We look at it's at least increased by the COLA amount. We look at some increases in what the contractors are going to be. This year, we did increase the contractors' rate to be more comparable with the surrounding communities. Again, we have to have people sit in the plows in order to, be able to handle the snow, and there's competition for that. I don't know if you drive through Millville and the other areas where you see.
That's what I'm saying is, this is 423, right?
This is an old budget.
Yeah,
Snow and ice?
yeah.
Phil, what Jean had talked about, though, was it's part of a budget that you can't go down year over year. So you start low, knowing that if you've got to go up, you're pulling from the money you would have pulled from anyway.
Yeah.
But if you don't spend it, you don't have to reverse it. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because last year's budget was the 275.
I don't see where he's looking at
The
that.
year prior, and then
He's
this
looking
year's
at
budget
two,
was-
that's.
No,
That was the total. That was the total expenditure after the increase.
No, last year's budget, we didn't even spend our budget approval.
Right.
So 2019, our actuals were 275,000. 2020's budget was 199,950.
And we didn't even spend that, right?
We did not.
Yeah.
Last year, I think, was the only time in history that we
Well, it actually wasn't the only time in history. I can't tell you the other time, but there was one other year that we did not, yeah.
Well, last year was very mild.
It
right?
was.
Sure.
Okay.
Gene, just
Yeah, no, I was just thinking in terms of an actual algorithm that can just be automatically applied all the time, and that's it. That's the budget.
No. You mean you can predict the weather? An algorithm that predicts the
Obviously,
50-year?
That's why the chapter 44 is there, is because we can't predict the world, but like a 10-year average might be something to consider, with cost of living increase.
does free cash stay pretty predictable year after year? Can you, or
No.
is it?
No, free cash, as you know, is made up from any turnbacks, as well as any difference between what we use for an estimate with revenue and what we actually receive.
Right, right.
The reason why FY20 certification was so high is that we didn't have our Springtown meeting. We did handle, and we didn't do capital.
Right.
So that was a big reason. And I will email you the free cash number. I just don't want to
Sure.
say it out,
Sure.
so you have it. Because I would want to quote it exact.
Yeah.
But, this year, I can tell you the building department receipts are well up to where we estimated them.
Great.
So that's, one indicator.
Yeah.
If you were to chart the free cash amount over the last 10 years, say, would it be a real zigzag?
I actually have a history that I'll give
Or
you.
would it be
it-
kind of a ski slope or something?
I'll send you the free cash history.
Okay.
Because that is one of the documents I give you every year, and I update it, so I will give you that
I
again.
appreciate that, thanks.
And I also, when we talk revenues, that's usually when I give it to you. So I give you that as well as the estimated receipts, so that you can see the trend on motor vehicle. That's a big, that's where most of our estimated receipts are. We do go up 2% every year. That was from a committee that, I don't even know if anybody was a member of the Strategic Budget Committee. Remember it?
What was
No.
the name of it?
Strategic Budget Committee. It was years ago we had that, where they chose to increase estimated receipts 2%. Again, being conservative,
Yeah.
but, we just had 135,000 turned in just in building and one for the solar farm. So, you look at these indicators, building's up right now for us.
So our solar farms, does that fit into the free cash amount? Because of, like the new one that's up by Birch Birch Hill up there.
It would fit in because this permit fee came in.
Okay.
So it's part of the, I budget, this is around number 100,000, and now I'm at 100, this one permit came in at 135. I know that, this one category is going to be well above what we estimated. Those are numbers used for illustration purposes only.
I got you.
Right,
Yeah.
understood.
Okay.
Yeah. We did at least,
Yes.
hopefully everybody else did, right. But, Dick, if you look at last fall town meeting, we had the debate over the expenditure for the fire system. And
Right.
the big issue there was how deeply that one project was digging into the portion needed from free cash.
Right, right.
And so those are where, you look at the snow budget.
Yeah.
And if you have 3 years in a row under budget, there might be more money for fire systems.
Yeah.
Right? But this year, we'll
Yeah,
be
this is,
digging in. This year, we'll be cutting in.
You
No
have to
question
spend
about it.
all your free cash.
no.
No.
We did not
That's
last
your
year.
Savings account. Yeah.
So whatever closes to the general fund at the end of the year becomes your starting number for the following year.
Yeah.
So last year, we did not spend all our free cash, which is why our free cash was certified higher this year. They did allow us to spend it up until the annual town meeting, so because of COVID, they extended the time. Usually June 30, the door's shut. You can't, it reverts down to zero until it's
This is the
recertified.
state looking over your shoulder.
This is the state's rules, that's correct.
So Matt won't be joining us
I
for an
don't
update?
think so.
Why don't we do it in 2 weeks?
Okay.
Any motions?
Like a motion to adjourn?
What?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll
Aye.
second that.
Lynn's motion to adjourn, Dick's seconding of the motion. All those in favor?
Second.
Oh, she's good.
Did she go in her garage?
Heather speaks. What's that?
Did she go in her garage?
Well, there was a different picture of you up there a few minutes ago, wasn't there?
Did they kick you?
It's the door.
Did they kick you out?
You need the space,
Why are you in the garage?
That's okay, we don't need to know. So, a motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor of adjournment?
Roll count.
Aye.
Aye.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, I think we gotta say our names.
yep.
Because we're
Carol, if you want to start, please.
PI.
Phil Landry, aye.
Heather Moore and I.
Dick Vandenberg, aye.
Lynn Mazzulli, aye.
Howard D'Amico, aye. We are adjourned.
All right.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Howard just.
All right.